So in addition to the pretty hype trailer we got for Sonic Racing Cross Worlds at the Sony State of Play, we got a whole bunch of new gameplay, some from IGN and some from this other channel, Gamer Braves. So we're going to check it out and see what they're
We had
cooking.
the opportunity to try Sonic Racing Cross Worlds on the PS5 in a recent hands-on session. Sonic Racing Cross Worlds is what happens when arcade-style
I like how they
racing
come
meets
out of the
chaotic
portal
world
and they're like doing all
kart
kinds of
racing.
flips. By the way, if you're new here, subscribe to this channel. I'm going to be doing some gameplay when the network test happens and when the game releases. Trying to get this channel to 100K. Help me out. And we're gonna skip all this.
These arcade games, this game looks to bring an engaging multiplayer racing experience. We try about an hour
So
of
it's
racing
safe
across
to
5
say, I
different
like the
tracks.
poses Sonic's doing. It's
One
safe to
big
say
change
that
is
Mario
that ring
Kart
collection
is going to have
isn't
some
just for show.
competition,
It actually
assuming
affects your max speed.
that they
So the more rings you have-
release at the same time or close to each other. So if I had to guess, I would assume end of June is when the Switch 2 is going to drop. I think Mario Kart 9 is probably going to be a launch title. It might not be, but I feel like it also has a pretty good chance to be a launch title. This way, they have a strong launch game. This game seems pretty far along to the point where we might actually get this in June. This might be a summer title or end of May.
The
So
faster you go, but lose them in collisions or by falling
also,
off the track,
I'm not
yeah,
too
someone else is gonna
familiar
pick them up.
with
And
the
then
Sonic
there's the
Racing
travel ring
series.
voting system.
I
Players
play.
vote on
Did did he just edit out
voting system.
him missing the
Players vote
jump?
on the first track before
Okay.
the race, but
So we have Rainbow Garden, Middle Harbor, Ocean View, random. As far as characters go, how many people? We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. I guess you could have up to 12 racers in a race. I assume these guys here are part of the Deadly Six. I haven't played Lost World, so I don't really know their names aside from like Zavik. You have the usual cast of characters here. Cream and Cheese is here too,
here's
which
the
is pretty
twist.
cool.
Whoever's leading by lap 2 chooses the next world. This means being in first isn't just about staying ahead. It's about picking a course that plays to your strengths. Every race plays out differently depending on
So
who's
that's
leading
kind of
and what
neat.
tracks
If
get
you're in the
chosen.
lead
Now,
and you see
customization is
two
where
portals
things get
coming up,
really
you'd be
fun.
like, all right, I
The
do
game
better
gives
in
you
Middle
4 car
Harbor.
types.
Like, I know
Speed
that
for
track
higher
better, and
maximum
you get to
speed
pick.
capability,
So that's pretty awesome.
acceleration for fast speed build-up, power for better durability for collisions, and control for better handling. On top of that, there's a gadget system. You unlock 6 equipment
What is this
slots
Kraken
inside frame,
stage?
and each slot lets you equip different passive abilities. Some
I
let you
did
steal
see
them
like
from
some secret
opponents,
ring
others
stuff
will
in the
drift gauge
trailer.
when you collide, and there's one that doubles your
And
maximum
while I'm not a
capacity
huge
from
fan
100
of
to
like the
200.
storybook
Huge for
games,
speed. The beauty of it is
I
that
like
slot
that
size
they're
doesn't mean strong. It's
acknowledging
just different
Sonic's
strategies.
entire
Meaning, if you
library.
want to go full offense, you can load up on collision perks. Or if you prefer precision, you can go all in on drifting and handling bonuses.
Yeah, so I
The
don't know
reward
how much of
system
this
also
is coming back from like Transformed or Sonic Riders. Like I was saying earlier, I'm not super familiar with those games. Like I
Starting
played
from F rank and
Transformed,
climbing up to A,
All
then
Stars
legend
Transformed
ranks
a
1 to
little
9,
bit.
and there's
I
tons of
have it.
card customization. You can tweak front,
I kind of
rear,
skipped over
and
Riders
tires,
because I was
plus
like,
colors, tints, and stickers
I don't
for
know.
your personal
Like
touch.
Sonic kind of lost me for a
After
little
our
while.
session, it's clear Sonic Racing Cross Worlds is trying something different. It's
A
got
few
the
things
experience of kart
returning. I
racing,
know that
but
people are
with way
hyped about.
more
You have Jet the
strategy
Hawk
than
coming
usual.
back.
The ability
Who's
to
gonna be
check out other
voicing him?
players' builds
Like,
before a race adds a
having
competitive edge
Jason
that leads
Griffith
to
do it
some
would be
deep community
awesome.
discussions. Or, you
But I don't
ruin
know
friendships
if
when things get heated.
Sega's gonna do
With
that.
strong progression
Let's
system,
hope they will.
intense customization, and the dynamic
Because
world
just because
searching
he doesn't
mechanics,
voice Sonic
this
anymore
one's
doesn't mean he
shaping
can't
up
come
to be a
back and
fresh
voice
take
Jet.
on kart racing.
But
Will it
also,
deliver? We'll have to wait and see.
like boards coming
What
back
do you think of the
and
game
doing
so far?
tricks.
Are you excited for Sonic Racing Cross Worlds? Let us know in the comments. And
So
don't
this
forget to
really,
like,
this is a
share,
pretty
and
short
subscribe for
video.
more
We could
feature
go through it
videos
again. I
just
know
like this one.
IGN has the real,
Yeah, someone else is gonna pick them up. And then
the
there's
real,
there's
the
really
Metal
good
Harbor
work
stage
on
is
initial
awesome
beat
looking, by the
arcade
way.
games.
I know
This game
IGN
looks
has
to
like
bring
the
an
real
engaging
good
multiplayer
amount of
racing
footage, but it's
experience.
also in like
We try about an hour
4
of racing
FPS.
across 5 to 6 tracks. One big change is that ring collection isn't just for show. It
I
actually
wonder
affects your
if
max
this
speed.
is going to be
So
the
more
same
rings you have,
build
the faster
that
you
the
go.
network
But lose
test
them
is
to
going to
collisions
be
or
in
by falling
like
off the track.
next
Yeah, someone
a
else is
week
gonna
that's
pick them up.
happening?
And then there's the travel ring voting system. Players vote on the
It
first
just
track
falls
before
off
the
the
race,
stage. It's like,
but
yeah,
here's
just
the
cut that out.
twist. Whoever's leading by lap 2 chooses the next world.
So I'm trying to figure out what the one's the Kraken stage,
This
and I
means being in
can't
first
see.
isn't just about staying ahead. It's about picking a
what
course
the other
that
one
plays to
was.
your strengths. Every race plays out differently depending on who's leading and what
Also,
tracks
someone
get
who
chosen.
has been playing Sonic
Now,
games for a long time,
customization is where things get
I
really deep.
couldn't nail
The game
down
gives you
every
4
single
car types. Speed
location.
for higher maximum speed capability, acceleration for fast speed build-up, power for better durability for collisions, and control for better handling. On top of that, there's a gadget system. You unlock 6 equipment slots just by playing, and each slot lets you equip different passive abilities. Some let you steal rings
6
from opponents,
gadgets
others
or
boost
6
drift gauge
gadget
when you slide,
slots.
and there's one that doubles your max ring capacity from 100 to 200. Huge for speed. The beauty of it is that
So
slot
you can
size
kind of
doesn't mean
customize your
stronger.
playstyle.
It's just different strategies. Meaning, if you want to go full offense, you can load up on collision perks. Or if you prefer precision, you can go all in on drifting and handling bonuses. The rank system also keeps things competitive, starting from F rank and climbing up to A, then legend ranks 1 to 9. And there's tons of card customization. You can tweak front, rear, and tires, plus colors, tints, and stickers for that personal touch.
I know the Wisps are coming back
After our
too.
session, it's
And
clear Sonic Racing
I saw like a tweet that had a lot of interaction that was like, oh, we can't wait for Colors haters to be angry that the Wisps are coming back. It's not that
Crossworlds is trying something
I
different.
dislike
It's got the
Wisps.
chaos of kart
You
racing
guys know how I
with
feel
way
about
more
Sonic
strategy
Colors. I'm not a
than
huge
usual.
fan of Sonic
The
Colors.
ability
I
to
don't like
check
it.
out other players' builds
I know a
before
lot of
race
people
adds a
do.
competitive
That's
edge
fine.
that could lead to some
I don't dislike the
heated
Wisps.
discussions.
I
Or,
dislike
ruin
the
friendships when
gimmick
things get
that
heated.
the Wisps are
With a strong
in the
progression
game.
system, intense
In this,
customization,
fine,
and a
absolutely.
dynamic
That's-
wall switching mechanic,
it's probably
this
awesome.
one's shaping up to be a fresh take on kart racing.
What is this little
Will
like
it deliver?
tornado that
We'll
is
have to wait
surround?
and
Oh,
see.
is he holding an
What do you
item that he
think
can
of the game
throw?
so far? Are you excited for Sonic Racing Crossworlds? Let us know
I'm
in the
gonna need the
comments.
comment
Don't forget
section to
like,
really fill
share,
me in on
and
some of this
subscribe for more
because
featured
I
videos just like this one.
I'm not, like I said, I'm not too familiar with a lot of the Sonic Racing series. I played Team Sonic Racing, which was pretty cool, but like I got my fill out of it, but I know people are bigger on Transformed and Riders, so it looks like those two games are playing heavy influence into this. Okay, that's all we really got out of this. I'm going to jump into the IGN section now.
Let's get the comparisons out of the way.
All right,
first.
so like I said, the IGN footage is in like 240p, like 4 FPS.
Sonic Racing Crossworlds feels closer to
What
Sonic
is
and
this?
All-Stars Racing
We're gonna
Transformers
watch
era
it,
games
but what is
as
this?
opposed to the more recent Team Sonic Racing, but has taken advantage of the enhancements that Team Sonic Racing brought to the table. While I've enjoyed both formats, the 3-character mechanic of building a team to work together to coordinate racing and drift lines is gone. Instead, Crossworlds goes back to the Mario Kart's everyone for themselves format.
Yeah, like I said, I think Mario Kart is going to have some competition with this. I mean, Mario Kart is probably still going to steamroll Sonic Racing in the long run because it's Mario Kart. But I think this summer, potentially, we
Mario
might be
Kart
seeing
it
some
shares
competition.
similarities
Or
from the items on the course
we'll
to
be
the
enjoying
various
both.
shortcuts
That's
and
what I'll be
kart
doing.
customization. However, while it shares some DNA, Sonic Racing Crossworlds evolves beyond what we've gotten from its now 11-year-old competitor. Now, one area that Crossworlds may come up short in compared to Team Sonic Racing is so far there is no sign of an adventure mode.
Bro,
but
who
this was an
captured
early
this?
look, so that might be one of the many reveals that the team is saving for later. While many elements mimic its competitors, the green and red
We need to
rocket-powered
stop
gloves
letting
that bounce walls
IGN
or home in on opponents, being
do,
the most
like,
one-to-one
world
example to
premieres
themselves
for
in
Sonic
Kart,
stuff.
And the customizable car parts and wheels like we got in 8, there is still enough here to help Crossworlds stand apart from the crowd though. Plenty of the elements core to Sonic games, such as the various Wisp power-ups like Drill and Tornado, knock other racers away and defend you from incoming attacks. There are also magnets
Tornado
you
is
can
one
throw
of
as
the
hazards to
Wisps.
pull enemies towards them if they get too close, and their ultimate rubber band item to help those in lower positions catch up, the Monster Truck, which turns your car into a massive monster truck.
Is this the dinosaur level, the
Knocks enemies away and allows you to
secret
drive
ring
over
stage?
all
I don't
terrains
remember.
without
It's been
penalty.
so long
The
since
only
I
item
played that
Sonic
game.
Racing Crossworlds is all about, well, crossing worlds, with each race separated into the traditional 3 laps. Still, each lap feels different thanks to the marquee Crossworlds mechanic. At the end of the first lap, whoever is leading the pack will determine which course the second lap will take by
So
driving through
my concern here is if the lap feels too short. Like I think the lap needs to be somewhat lengthy. I think races need to be a little longer if you're going to be jumping from world to world. I feel like if a lap is too short,
one of
like
two
it
giant
might
travel
just be
rings that
too
transport
much all
everyone
at once.
seamlessly
That's
once
how
they
I feel
arrive at that
personally.
point. The option for these are randomized, and sometimes one of the options itself is
Okay,
a
good.
randomizer,
IGN made the
so
jump.
Not even the leader will know what to expect if they choose it. During my demo time, my second lap took me across stages themed with things like dinosaurs, pirates, or lava, where we spent most of the lap in a plane, another mechanic that I'll get to later. There are also modifiers for the second stage called Frenzy that will alter the lap, such as placing moving boost gates along the entire lap or granting a maximum boost gauge after drifting for only a split second and making the whole lap feel like I was back in the days of the snaking that plagued and ruined Mario Kart DS. Thankfully, Frenzy modifiers are
Ruined?
random, and across
Seems
my
like a
15
skill
or so
issue.
races, the instant boost Frenzy only happened once, so I'm not worried at all about it becoming an issue in Crossworlds.
This seems
After
like a lot of
finishing
fun,
the
though.
second lap, another transport ring seamlessly sends players back to the
So did they
original
only
course,
get
but
hands-on
some
with
minor but effective changes
carts?
to the course
Like, I
layout
would like
in
to see
key
some
areas. Courses
board
like Metal Harbor
gameplay.
evolve, where you have to drive around the outside of a rocket launch pad on lap 1, but on lap 3 the rocket is launched as it did in Sonic Adventure 2, replacing it with a steep half-pipe ramp that allows players to perform
big
as many
trick
air tricks
off
as
the,
possible to gain a considerable
off the
speed
Middle
boost when
Harbor
landing on the
half
opposite
pipe.
side. And that's just one example. In another course with water segments, I saw gates open, allowing access to shortcuts.
Skaters
or
gonna be like, well,
supercharged
actually, it's a
item
quarter
boxes
pipe because
with a higher chance of granting better items. Crossworld is also hiding shortcuts around the map, as well as shortcut rings that activate on the final lap.
I do
would
think that
temporarily send
the
me to another
maps,
world. These
the
secret rings are
tracks
powerful shortcuts. They
look
extended my
very
lead in races
expansive.
or helped me catch up, and made it more challenging for other racers to target me with their items. I don't know what forces were
So that
causing
kinda
these rings to appear as I
quells
race, but
my,
they were worth the effort of being ready
my
to take
concern
them.
about, like,
the Sonic
portal
and All-Star
jumping.
Racing Transform games, portions of laps or sometimes entire laps place you in a plane or boat instead of a car. All of these vehicles have a unique identity, and while they share similarities, they have mechanics to help them stand out from one another. In addition to the standard drift mechanic you get in a car, when you transform into a boat, you have a charge mechanic that jumps it out of the water, giving another opportunity to perform air tricks for speed boosts, which can help you regain some speed after hitting a hazard or being tagged by an enemy's attack. While planes offer more routes than the other vehicles, they do so only if you spot the alternate paths, like a chain of boost gates underneath the road on Magma Planet, where you need to dodge waves of magma to maximize the plane's advantage. The variety of vehicles and paths gave me nostalgic notes of figuring out the best routes based on the vehicle I was in, like I did in Diddy Kong Racing from my Nintendo 64 days.
It
plus
feels
with all
very
the
Diddy
updates
Kong
to the
Racing.
formula you would hope for in a game released nearly 2
Also,
decades
very
later.
hard to
While I
believe
was
we
playing,
haven't
I
seen
spotted
Diddy
some
Kong Racing come
incredible
back
inclusions spanning
anywhere.
multiple generations that longtime fans of Sonic will be excited about. The roster of characters shown so far ranged from the expected heroes and regular all-stars Sonic, Tails, and Knuckles, to less frequently playable characters like Cream, Omega, and even Zaz from Lost World. The rider you put behind the wheel also has unique stats that will affect how they drive each car, and even rivals like Sonic and Shadow have similar yet different stats, such as one having more speed while the other having more power or boost. Vehicles fall into 4 classes: speed, acceleration, handling, and power, all of which have high stats in the matching category with the
This giant Kraken stage is pretty
to
cool.
match it, and I could quickly feel the change in my car as I swapped between them. When racing in my powered vehicle, which I had customized to look like a bulldozer, I felt thematically appropriate as I bullied other racers, all while stealing their rings and giving myself a speed boost thanks to some gadgets I had installed, which I will also get to in a bit. Characters and types of cars have the most significant impact on your vehicle's stats, which you can then modify by changing individual car parts like the wheels and more. I picked my favorite Shadow and raced in 3 of the 4 vehicle types, all of which worked.
I wonder how
well
many
enough where I
characters they're going to
finished in
have
first place for
at
75%
launch,
of
and
my
if they're going to
races,
add more
and top
characters.
5
I
in
feel
all
like
the
this is
rest,
a good
except for one
opportunity,
where a well-timed hit
Crossworlds,
hooked
to
me
bring in
and caused me
some
to miss a ramp and fall off the map in a
like
final strip.
not unknown, but unused Sonic characters, like any
Of
of
a race.
the
We've all been
IDW
there.
characters,
Along with changing out
or
of parts for stats, you can also deck out your car
if
with
they wanted to
decals
bring
and
in
change the
anyone
colors
from
and
like the
materials to your
shows.
heart's content. Combining your character with car customization allows you to make your vehicle your own. The last bit of customization comes from another mechanic called the Gadget Panel. It's a powerful tool for changing how people race, granting abilities like an increased chance of getting certain items, adding a 4th level to the
They
drift
do
race
so many
stage,
tricks in
or
the
granting
air.
you rings for performing specific actions.
A trick is
Every
like
ability costs
spinning
anywhere
like
from 1 to 3
18
slots, and
times.
your panel to install them consists of 2
Can you
rows of
fail a
3
trick and
for a
like
maximum of 6 slots.
fall?
I started
It doesn't
with only
seem
2
like it.
slots, but after a few hours of racing, I increased this to 5, giving me more options to slot in new abilities that changed how I approached races. Early on, I had opted for an ability that allowed me to grab rings from a greater range, which took up a single slot, but later on I swapped to a pair of 2-slot abilities that would give me a boost.
So
when
there
colliding
are
with other
abilities that
racers,
take
while
up multiple
also stealing 10
slots,
rings
I
from
guess,
them
if they
to help
are
me reach my
better.
top speed sooner, and
So
also
you
slowing
can
my competition.
strategize to
Fortunately
use
for my
more
competitors
powerful
and
gear
unfortunately
slots.
For me, they caught on to my antics thanks to the ability to see other racers' builds before a race, and shortly after implementing that strategy, Nearly everyone else copied it, plunging our races into chaos like a 12-player game of bumper cars. Needless to say, this was a ton of fun as we all kept trying to ram into each other to get out in front of the pack. Even though it was just a short test drive with my favorite hedgehogs and friends.
This stage here that looks retro, is this a Superstars level? Like, is this the level where they go?
With my favorite hedgehogs and friends. I am
what's the
eager to
name
see
of it
what
from
else
Superstars?
hasn't yet
It's the
been
retro
revealed. The racing
stage.
felt
You know what I'm
snappy and
talking about.
responsive, and each car customization operated as I expected. I felt like a superstar hitting enemies with well-timed items I unleashed, and the new Crossroads mechanic was a blast, allowing me to learn courses while keeping each race feeling fresh, as I never knew what to expect on the second lap of every race. There's a lot more left to learn about Sonic's latest racer, but so far,
there's a lot of
good.
replayability with
Sonic
the
Racing
actual
Crossroads
portal
don't
jumping
need that
mechanic.
allowed
I'm
me to grab rings from
pretty
very
excited for
range,
that.
which took up a single slot, but later on I swapped to a pair of
It's
two
like
slot
they
abilities
played
that
Smash
would
and was
give me a
like,
boost
you know
when
what?
collect-
Let's take stage morph. Of course, no one uses it, and let's put it
with
in
other
something
racers,
that
while
makes more
also
sense.
stealing 10 rings from them to help me reach my top speed sooner, and also slowing my competition. Fortunately for my competitors, and unfortunately for me, they caught on to my antics thanks to the ability to see other racers' builds before a race.
Yeah, who's this dude right here? This
And shortly after
Beetlejuice
implementing that
horn,
strategy, nearly everyone else copied it,
worm-horn-looking
plunging
guy.
our races into chaos like a 12-player game of bumper cars. Needless to say, this was a ton of fun as we all kept trying to ram into each other to get out in front of the pack. Even though it was just a short test drive with my favorite hedgehogs and friends, I am eager to see what else hasn't yet been revealed. The racing felt snappy and responsive, and each car customization operated as I expected. I felt like a
That's
superstar
one
hitting
thing I'll
enemies
say
with
from
well-timed items
the
I
trailer
unleashed,
and the
the
gameplay
new
footage
Crossroads
is
mechanic was a blast, allowing me
the
to learn
actual
courses
racing
while
mechanic
keeping each race feeling fresh, as
looks
I never knew what
like,
to expect on the second lap.
it looks very responsive, and it looks really arcadey and fun.
There's a lot more left to learn about Sonic's latest racer, but so far, so good.
All right, like I said, we're getting a network test like next week or something, or the week after. I got to check the exact date, but I'll be doing some gameplay capture because I've been bugging Sega to give me a code. I just also played the Elden Ring Night Rain network test, and holy shit, that was a lot of fun. So I'll have a video coming out on that soon, but again, if you're new here, subscribe. Let me know what you think in the comment section. Let me know what characters you want to see appear in Sonic Racing Cross Worlds, and we'll see you next time.